down in the den, so go tell a friend. The best podcast on earth's about to begin. We got jokes and news and movie reviews. After Dark NC-17 with the crew. Interviews with the best artists around. So like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. Let's go. Like, comment, subscribe. The show's starting right now. Welcome to Down in the Den. It's your boy Mars, and joining me, we have an amazing rapper slash producer. He has worked with some hip hop heavyweights like E40, Slum Village, Neff, the Pharaoh, La Russell, and tons more. He is one of the most sought after producers in the game right now, and I'm so happy to welcome him here to the Den. My man Tope, how you doing today, brother?
I'm great, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate you. Great intro.
Thank you, man. Thank you. So once again, welcome to the show. I've been watching your progress over the last year, and you've been putting in some amazing work, grinding on a whole nother level.
Thank you.
You're welcome. We have a tradition here in the Den. I'm a nerd. I love comic books. Every superhero has an origin story. How did you get into hip hop and making music, not just hip hop, but just making this music? Artist, producer, what's your origin story? How did you develop your superpower?
I think first and foremost, just like being a lifelong fan of hip hop, and like studying it since I was a little kid, just really being one of those kids who really sat with that album and read the liner notes and looked at the pictures and read the producer credits and all that type of stuff. And then one thing kind of led to another as far as like from reading liner notes, just discovering new artists and other producers and people that were behind the scenes. So I feel like a lot of it started with being a fan first off, and then in high school, like trying my hand at rapping and seeing some of my friends rap and older groups in the neighborhood rap and stuff like that. So just kind of, trying it out, trying to rap, and then having some success with it in Portland and Seattle, and having some successful groups and some successful solo music releases and stuff like that. And then also just getting curious about making beats, hearing Jay Dilla and Madlib and people like that who were doing a lot of heavy soul sampling, which were like records I was familiar with, but then flipping them into a different way. So that got me real curious, like, how do I do this? How do I make this type of sound? How do I take a record that an older record like Zappin' Roger or something like that and sample it, because I was always listening to like older funk and soul and stuff like that too. So that kind of sparked the production thing. And then as my rapping career kind of, I decided to kind of like stop rapping. I put more focus into the production and learning music theory and learning how to play the piano and play bass guitar and that type of stuff. And it really just like helped take my production to a whole another level, which is kind of like with the sound where I'm at now, which I started with just sampling for the most part, and then being able to like learn instruments and learn how to really make the sounds that I wanted to hear from scratch is kind of what led to the Tope that you hear today, basically.
Man, that's amazing. And I always say that the kids today, I'm a 90s baby. So like you, I remember getting a CD, opening it up, reading the lining as I'm in the car listening to it. I'm like, which in retrospect probably wasn't safe, but reading while listening, it was like, oh, okay, and learning about the producer. So that it is, with music being streamed, I think that's one thing that kids miss. Because it used to be an identifiable sound. Like you knew a Timbaland beat, you knew a Pharrell beat, you knew a Swizz beat, and now it's just kind of like, but you, on the other hand, how does it feel? You mentioned you were inspired by some of those artists and some of the older artists. How does it feel now if you go on YouTube and type in Tope, you'll find Tope-like beats. So now people are influenced by you. You go into the beat source, you'll see Tope-like beats. How does that feel? They always say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. How does that feel to you, seeing that now people are looking for your sound?
It's pretty crazy, man. Cause you know, me and my old roommate, we used to joke about stuff like that. Like, oh, you're gonna have Tope beats, you know, one day on YouTube, and for that to actually come to fruition is dope. And also, you know, I think a lot of people's styles get copied and they don't get the credit for it, or they don't get, you know, someone might hear a producer and hear them do something dope, and they might not kick it back to, hey, this is so and so style type, you know. So
Fact.
for that, it is kind of like a flattery because I'm an artist. To be honest, you know, for like maybe the last couple years, I feel like I've been influencing things without getting credit, because I was such a smaller artist, you know what I'm
Right.
saying, not having the bigger platform. So it's dope to like kind of finally see that credit and see people get kicking it back or whatever, because I feel like in a way, I feel like in the Northwest or in Portland, I do feel like I was like a tastemaker. You know what I'm saying? With like
Yeah.
some of the stuff I would do. So it's been dope, you know, to see people all over the world like being inspired, and even with like some of the behind the beat breakdowns, people really take some of those techniques and apply them, and will give me credit. They're like, hey, I'm doing something I saw in your video, or I learned this in your video or whatever, which is dope.
That is dope. And you have a series on YouTube, I believe, where you break down the beats. Is that correct? How did that come about?
Yeah, honestly, it was kind of random. Me and my guy Double O, we were just kind of talking about some content ideas, and I just told him one day to like, bring over your cameraman and let's try and shoot something. I had been doing some like TikTok behind the beats and stuff like that, and seeing just kind of how producers were breaking down their content over quarantine. You know, like I felt like quarantine was a great time for creators. You know, like people were stuck in the house, and the people who could create were able to flourish in that time. So I didn't necessarily start my series off in that window, but it was definitely like inspiration from like a lot of producer content that I saw. So we did Behind the Beat. I think we did about 20 episodes of Behind the Beat, and then I've been just filming my own ones too, like screen record versions of just like how I made certain productions and breaking them down, stuff like that. But inspiration, I would say, honestly, I was inspired by a lot of other producers who were doing their producer content, you know, to do some of mine as well. And LaRussell was on me about posting too. He's like, post every day, bro, post every day. So, you know,
10,000 shots.
I gotta give a lot of props to my guy LaRussell, because we had a lot of conversations about just posting and content, and that's always a topic of discussion. And he really helped me post, you know, get out there and post more and be more aggressive in that area.
Absolutely. And shout out to the guy, LaRussell, out there in Vallejo. Now, speaking of LaRussell, you guys have had 5 albums together,
Yep.
if my count serves me correct.
Right.
And
Right.
and
Every week
and it's
it might change.
some of those 5 albums have come out in like the last 2 months. You
Yeah.
guys are, and I've said it before, you know, I've said it offline. To me, you guys are the Dre and Snoop of the 2020s. I think he's
That's
got
what's
like
up.
20 albums. He's a prolific artist. I think he has like 20
Yeah.
albums. But your 5 together, they stick out. It's peanut butter and jelly. It's hot dogs and mustard. Whatever your combination that fits so well.
That's what's up.
How's that relationship? Um, just being able to create this art and just put it out, and really, you guys are changing the business model, and it's all done
Hmm.
organic. You know,
Yeah,
being in the industry as you are, you know, a lot of this music is bought and paid for.
for
It's
sure.
what label puts in what spins to get on what playlist, but you guys have done it all organically, which is
Hmm.
amazing. And the growth within a year has been exponential. How's that relationship when you guys lock in together? Is it what I see? From what I see, like I said, it's like you guys are left and right brain. You just go together. Is it what I see, or is it you know, give us a little behind the scenes.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, musically, um, it's interesting how we work. Like, there hasn't been that many beats I've played for LaRussell that he didn't like. He was even saying the other day, it's pretty much like a 9 out of 10. When I play LaRussell beats, he's gonna like it. But my formula for me, like, I just make the stuff I love. And when I first met LaRussell, I had played him a bunch of beats that I kind of had like in a folder from myself. like if I was ever to rap again one day, like these would be some of the beats I would rap on or whatever. So I kind of figure that out. Like, oh, he loves the same stuff I love, you know, and we talk about some of our music influences, then it makes sense, you know. So as far as the creation goes, like I just make the stuff I love, and I know if I love it, then there's a good chance the Russell's gonna like it as well. But our creation process is really nothing I've ever experienced and nothing I've ever seen except for in Fade to Black when Jay-Z just starts like mumbling in the corner and then he has a verse done. That's pretty much like how it works with La Russell. Like I'll play him a beat and he'll be like, start kind of growling and mumbling and then start writing. And then it'll probably be about 5 minutes later, then I'll hear like a laugh or a yell. He'll be like, God, or something, or he'll just start laughing, and I'll be like, oh yeah, we got one. You know what I'm saying? And that's honestly, I've never seen him take more than probably 15 minutes to write a song, you know, and it happens wherever. You know, when we wrote Baggage Claim, we were driving down to LA and Russ was just in the passenger, you know, in the passenger seat, and I was my drive shift or whatever, and I just had some new beats. He's like, got one, you know, play the next one, you know. So we're writing beats on the way, we're writing songs on the way to LA. You know, and like a lot of the stuff, it just happens so fast, man. Like the other day with 96 Bulls, like I just came to hang out and say what's up. And we blinked and had 6 songs done, you know, like it's pretty crazy. The chemistry is pretty crazy. It's almost in a way it's a little bit undescribable because it just happens. You know what I'm saying? Like we just get in the studio and I stay putting up shots. You know, LaRussell likes to shoot every day, so I
Fast.
think it works well in that way. It's like I'm always making beats. Even the day after 96 Bulls, I pulled up with like 4 more beats I had made the night after. So it's like we both stay working. And I'm honestly I'm so thankful that the fans like have kind of, you know, chosen our chemistry to be special, have pointed that out, you know, so that means a lot for real.
Well, you guys are definitely prolific together. I'm pumping 96 Bulls as we speak. I keep it on my playlist. As
That's
soon
what's
as
up.
it is available to buy on the Good Company site, I get all you guys' work and fantastic
I
classics. And
appreciate you, bro.
now, this is a two-part question. Um, you mentioned growing up looking at the liners of the albums and really learning and curiosity. It's like Kobe said,
Hmm.
the biggest thing that you want from anybody, an artist, a player, is curiosity. They, you know,
Hmm.
learn how to be better. With that being said, who are the if we're looking at the tree to get the tote, who are like the 2 or 3 producers that that you would say if you put in a bowl, you're gonna get the taupe recipe? Who are like the 2 or 3 producers that you feel influence you the most?
I would say like DJ Quick and Battle Cat, um, and like Jay Dilla and Pharrell. If you could like take those all kind of mash them up, maybe throw maybe Kanye in there too, early Kanye, and you put those, and it's got like combination of the West Coast sound with the soulful, you know, samples and chops and stuff like that, and maybe something a little off kilter or whatever too. But for the West Coast stuff like Battle Cat and Quick, definitely heavy influences in my sound for sure.
Shout out to Battle Cat and DJ Quick, 2
Yeah.
epic producers who I don't think get enough credit in the hip hop game, even though they're legends. Like
Hmm.
I think they deserve a little bit more credit than they deserve. They influence a whole decade. So yeah, I agree with
Yeah.
that for sure.
Still underrated for
Still
sure.
underrated,
Definitely.
which
Yeah.
sounds insulting when they're legends, but it's true. They're underrated. So what
Hmm.
you mentioned that you dropped 4 beats off the night after dropping an album. So I know you're grinding. What are you working on
Right.
right now? What are you working for? Are you working on anything for any particular artist, or are you just grinding making beats? What are you working right now?
I'm doing a second commercial for Jeremy Lin and his company in China. That's like I'm working on that this week. I have a project with a rapper named L James in San Jose that's getting mixed and mastered that I produced all myself. It's really dope, and it's gonna definitely feature like um, just a different side of my production, you know, and just a different feel, but also Bay Area, West Coast slaps, stuff like that. I'm working on with a really talented artist named Stony in Oakland. She's a female rapper who's just like one of the best rappers in the Bay and West Coast, period, in my opinion. And she's just kind of like getting ready to flood the market with some music. And I'm working on a couple packs for some artists who've been reaching out, some bigger artists. I don't want to jinx, like hopefully, you know, I don't want to
No,
jinx
I
anything.
understand. Yeah.
But yeah, I have like a bunch of like packs I'm working on for people. I'm working on something for Atlantic and some of their artists too. And then just kind of random production, like left and right. I have a ton of like Portland people and Bay Area people that I'm working on. Their projects with them or loose production and stuff like that. So my plate is so full right now that I really got to almost schedule people in. Like right now, I'm kind of like, all right, November is looking good, like for us to start labbing and working on this project because I have so much stuff kind of on the plate, and then I also have to keep kind of some stuff ready for La Russell as well because you never know. Like La Russell will hit me and just be like, "We're going to LA this weekend," you know, and then we could be in the studio with someone legendary or whatever, or hey, send me a pack. You know, he's kind of ready to work at all times, so that's kind of like a never ending project with us. And then I have all this other stuff going on too, but yeah, a whole bunch more
Booked
coming
and
for
busy.
sure.
Booked and
Booked and
busy.
busy,
I
man.
love it.
People like, all right, let's get a project in, bro. Let's do an EP. I'm like, man, I'm down, but like, it's looking like a few months for real before I can start. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's looking like a minute, but
Hey, that's a
I'm
good
thankful for
problem
it
to
all.
have.
Yeah, I'm
Now,
thankful for it all.
one thing that I love with you guys is you make real authentic music that says something. It's not bubblegum, it's not pop, it's not made for TikTok. Like I see a lot of the 2 minute songs out there that I just, sometimes I can get a groove in 2 minutes, but sometimes Hove just dropped a verse that was 4 minutes
Right.
with no
Super long.
breaks. So I love that you guys do that. You make real music that doesn't just necessarily fit on what the music business is telling you you should do, but it is a
Hmm.
business. What advice would you give for young artists that want to get in the game and may be blinded by just signing a deal or getting a deal with a label just to say they're signed? What advice would you give them when they're stepping in? They may have all the talent in the world, but they may not have that mentorship to get them in the right place. And we see it all the time. This label screwed me. This happened. This happened. What advice would you give these young artists, these young kids out here that's trying to change their life and their family's life through their artistry, but to make sure that they don't get pimped by an industry that was designed to make money? It's not really designed to make the artist happy. It's designed to make money. What
Yeah.
advice would you give these young artists?
Man, in the words of Nipsey Hussle, it's a marathon. You know, it's a long race, and anything can happen in this music industry. You know, ups and downs. So before you sign off ownership or sign off rights or sign off percentages, just know the people that you're dealing with, know what your contracts mean, and know that you don't have to sign anything to be successful. There's so many people who have built a blueprint for this independent route out here and it's 2022. The major label route, it's not necessary, and a lot of these artists end up signing a deal and regretting it. They want that shiny trophy to go with it, and then they put it on the shelf, and it's not doing anything for them. They can't eat from that trophy that's on the shelf. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So um do your research. Do your research and follow your heart. You gotta know what the best decision for you is, for your situation, for your family, for your friends, all that type of thing. But everything that glitters is not gold. this is a music business. Most of the people in this business are at a buy for low, sell for high type mentality. So you have to think about that when people are offering you money. There's a greater value to that money, you know, and you are that setting that value as an artist from the work you've done, the music you've made, the team you've built, all that thing. So if people are offering you $1 million, the value is probably at 10 million. You know what I'm saying? So
Absolutely.
keep keep that in mind, and just know this is a business. As much as people smile and laugh and joke in your face, um, at the end of the day, make sure your numbers are right. Make sure you feel comfortable with what you're signing, and make sure you're doing it for you or doing it for the right reasons. You know, because these people could be your heroes and turn around and offer you a deal that's subpar, and a lot of people end up signing it because it's someone they grew up looking up to or whatever it is. But you know, it's tough, bro. The music industry, they call it the rap game for a reason. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they really treat it like a game out here. So, you know, just be careful, man. It's super tricky and it's super difficult, but you know, do your research. You know, listen, follow artists like Russell, follow artists like you know, Tech 9 and Nipsey Hussle and all these people who, you know, were able to make a success independently. Dom Kennedy, Larry June, all these people, you know, it can be done for sure.
And you guys are definitely reaping the rewards of doing it the right way and doing your research, and don't get suckered by a shiny worm on the hook. Don't get
Yeah,
sucked. Do your research. Well, brother,
yeah,
this has been insightful. It's been super dope. Um, I have one more question. Are you
yes, sir.
ever tempted when you're working with all these incredible artists? Are you ever tempted to get back on the mic? You said you had a set of beats for you. In case I know it itches. I know I used to rap back in the day before I got into media, and even now when I start hearing some of these artists, I'm like, ooh, I should get back in this, and I'm like, no, I have gray hair. Let me stop. But I'm like, literally have gray hair. Let me stop. But do you ever feel that? Because once an artist, I feel like you're always an artist. Do you ever feel the desire to get behind the mic again?
And it's hard to even believe that I say it, and people have a hard time believing it, but I really don't. I don't have the itch. I played a show like in July, and I was kind of like, all right, let me take the show, because you know I used to love to perform. Like
Right.
performing is probably the one of the few things I do miss. Sometimes when I'm at the show, I'll be like, oh man, I miss, you know, grabbing the mic, all that stuff like that, rapping. But so I played a show the other day in San Francisco a month ago or whatever, and I was like, okay, maybe I'll get the itch, maybe it'll re-inspire me and everything. And the show was fun. I had fun. The set went well and everything like that. But I don't know, it didn't spark it for me, and I'm having so much fun as a producer right now that I don't know, I don't have a desire to rap. You know, I get to produce for people like, you know, Russell and Stony and L James and all these other people that I'm on the verge now of producing for too, and I'm like, I've had, you know, I had an amazing career in my opinion as a rapper, and now I think my goal and my role, I should say, in hip hop now is to help other people tell their story. You know, so if I can make some incredible beats for another a young artist who has a story to tell or has something to offer to hip hop as a culture, then my vessel is through the music. You know, and I don't want to ever block it. And I love hip hop so much that I would never waste time by like releasing music that I didn't truly love. So I'm just so thankful I found another opportunity to still be in this culture and still contribute, but contribute in another way where I'm also like, I have a way to give back too, you know, because a lot of, you know, production starts out as a free thing, you know, or with
Yeah.
new artists or whatever. So, man, I just love producing so much. It's so fun that I really don't have much desire to rap anymore. But you know, I also don't want to ever close that door, because maybe someday I'll wake up and want to drop a project or drop a verse or drop something. So you never know. But I just love everything where it's at right now. Everything is great where it's at right now.
Well, you're definitely a top curator of the culture, man. I appreciate you coming out.
Thank
Please
you, bro.
let the friends of the Den know where they can find you, your social media pages. The floor is yours.
Yeah, it's Tope, pretty much on all social media, ITSTOPE. Tope on streaming, Apple, Spotify, all that, man. Much love to you, bro. I appreciate your support. I've been seeing it like solid for, I think since we dropped Marlin 7 or even
Yeah,
before
man.
that. So, man, much love to you. I'm glad we could finally link it up and have a conversation. This has been dope.
Same, brother, man. And this will be the first of many, man. This this is just the beginning for you guys, which is crazy because you've already had so much success. But I feel that the next decade is the decade of Tope. So I appreciate you, man.
Thank
Uh,
you, brother.
you're a superstar already, but you're going to go
Come on,
supernova. So thank you again, guys. Thank you for tuning in.
let's
Like,
go.
comment, subscribe. If you're listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts or whatever, leave a comment. Please check my man Tope's production out. He's amazing. Music, like he said, the Bulls 96 album is available on the Good Company page. Check that out. It's super dope. All of his music is dope. You know I'm batting 1,000 with who I recommend. So please check him
Let's
out.
go.
He's super dope. And brother, thank you again for coming
Hey,
on.
thank you so much, man. We'll talk
Yes,
soon
sir.
again for sure.
For
Let's
sure.
go.
Let's go. All right, that's it. Perfect. So
Perfect, bro.
this will come out next Wednesday. So
Okay,
I will send you a copy. So in case you wanted to grab a sound bite or something for your page or whatever. So I'll send you a
definitely.
copy via your email, man. And
Dope.
I meant every word I said. I'm sorry I couldn't give you more energy. Just
No, bro, that was great. That was great.
normally I'm like off the wall. That 3 years, that shit kicking
Yeah,
my girlfriend, she's a little bit of a freedom fighter. So she was out there, serving the homeless meals and stuff, which I love. But then I started
right.
thinking, and I'm like, you serving 1,000 meals. That's
Probability,
that's a
right?
lot of exposure. And sure
Right,
enough, she came over and she was like, I don't feel too good. I was like, oh, all right, well, I hope you feel better. Then she sends me a picture of the COVID test. I'm like,
right.
so
Fuck.
of course, I have 1,000 COVID tests, so I take two. The first two are negative. I take the third one positive. It's like as soon as my body saw the positive, I started getting aches and everything.
Man,
And I did not want to reschedule this. The last 2 days I've been in bed, completely sleep, and I pumped myself up with so much medication. So like right now, I'm like, yeah, but I know in about 30 minutes I'm gonna be like,
crash back out. Hey,
yes,
well, shit. For future reference, bro, I'm flexible. We can
no,
always
man,
reschedule. But
I'm
I appreciate you so
yeah,
much.
man. No, I appreciate your professionalism, man. But thank you so much for
Hell
dealing with me.
yeah.
Like I said, I'm sorry I couldn't give you all the energy that I normally have, but
No, it's
man, I
good,
think it was
bro.
a dope interview.
Friday, you'll probably be feeling better. You're probably gonna be
Yeah, yeah.
when I had it record. I got it. I was like recording this dude, and my place is not super big or whatever. He's like coughing the whole session. I'm like, you good, bro? I'm like, you don't got COVID, dude. He's like, oh, I don't now, but I did. I got it at Coachella last weekend. I was like, bro. The next day, I had COVID and I had hellish shit to do. I'm like, bro, come on.
People are
I was
so
like,
disrespectful
yeah.
with your shit, man. They
I was
they
like,
don't. They
man,
really don't, and that's why I was like, it's not going anywhere. The same thing, like in my industry job, I was at the office the other day, and this girl just comes in and she's like, "Hey, I ain't seen you in a while." I was like, "Yeah, I normally work from home. I was just coming in to test this new technology." And she was like, "Cool, you," and just missed all in the area. And I was like, Jesus Christ, what?
what
Why would you?
we've learned nothing.
Nothing. Nothing. I'm like, people still ain't washing their feet. Still, now I'm like, you know what? It's fine. It's fine. It's just gonna be here forever.
uh,
But I
yeah,
appreciate you,
seems like
brother.
it.
I know you're busy. Get back to making them classics, man. I love it.
Hell yeah, man. Great to talk to you.